Welcome back to Cosmic Conversations. Maybe you're not even back. Maybe you're front. This is forward, as in this is your first time. That's pretty lit. If this is your first time, I'm your boy. I don't know why I just took a big breath and kind of like forgot where I was for a second. If this is your first time, I'm just like surprised. Like, what are you doing here? Like, I'm honored to have you here. This is Cosmic Conversations. That's crazy if it's really your first time. I don't know. I guess my brain was just like processing, like, if this really is your first time here, wow. Have I got gifts for you? Yes, this is Cosmic Conversations. You're tapping into the root of the symmetry. I'm your boy Tahuti, here to help us correlate, communicate, and connect all of our infinite individual spiritual spaces. We're all nothing at the end and beginning of the day. But in between, we're here. Welcome to the mental realm. Everything is mental. This is what connects the physical and the spiritual, and it's all happening at once. So that's sort of where we then get into the C. We get into the 3. We get into communication. We get into you increasing your awareness in how you communicate with the universe. Because once you're able to communicate with the universe in a greater way, that reflects how you can communicate with yourself in a greater way. And when you know and truly feel that you are a zero, infinitely nothing, and you get to create whatever you want to express that, now it's just all up to your imagination and your feeling. Those are the only two things that will limit you and how you marry those things together. Here in Cosmic Conversations, I, Chase, have an Instagram. People send in questions. People watch the stories. People ask me things. And based on if what they ask me is personal or I can actually correlate it for all of us to communicate and connect on, I'll actually introduce it for all of us to do that here in these videos. Today, this is a topic that, everyone also focuses on when we think about money, or just like M energy, then money and manifestation and magic and moon, right? So we're talking about the soul with all these things. We're talking about feeling. We're talking about the ability to express one's feeling, the ability to go from 2 to 3. And then being able to add that 2 and 3, that's where people want to see the way that they communicate their imagination in 5-cycle reality. And today's question, what is this? How does one go about manifesting their dreams? We're about to get in there. That was just a preface. Manifesting your dreams, notice right there, is dreams. Your dreams even are just a product of your feeling. So it's all about your desire. So when you have dreams, that's like literally, you can think of it as you in the alone realm in that way. Like it's you in a more individual space where you're actually creating the world around you instead of you agreeing to terms in this world. So it's like you live this life here in this world, you have this body, and then when you go to sleep, you take the memories and experiences from this body and simulate your whole own version of reality. And that's way more correlated to the astral realm, because that's sort of there's like so many different ways to explain dreams, but that's basically just like this is the earth realm. You in a body is the earth realm. When you're dreaming, you're in your water realm. So all earth comes out of water. So this is the point of us talking about manifesting our dreams. We're talking about wanting to alchemize. We want to solidify our water, our feelings, into a practical structure, which is this body. And then structures that support this body, that is what manifesting is. So to do that, we need air. When we're just talking about the elements and how the universe is created, it goes from nothingness, 0, fire, 1, water, 2, air, 3, and earth being 4. So that's where if you actually want to create and bring your water into your earth, then you have to communicate. And that literally relies on uniting your imagination into your feeling. And once you do that, you are able to actually send this fire out into the water in a way that creates this chi that actually communicates and connects to the universe, your own imagination. So the universe can kind of like work with you based on your circumstances to practicalize and solidify what you're communicating to it. And this is where, if you're actually going to talk about manifesting, then it's way more about feelings. But it's really, I mean, feelings and intentions. Um, when we're talking about infinite nothingness, these are the two words that we have: uh, thoughts and feelings. And a thought is just a hyper specific feeling. A thought is a feeling that is like so in its feelings, it's ignoring other feelings. That's what it means to be earth versus water. To go with the flow versus to block the flow and to just like stay rigid. Um, and then that's the point of when there is infinite emotion and infinite feeling, it needs to then create a thought. So infinite darkness needs to create light to latch onto, to grab onto, so it can stabilize how chaotic it is. And this is basically the relationship of masculine and feminine between any spirit of infinite nothingness space. It's just like the natural way a spirit must express itself. Because when everything's so infinite, numbers become natural in terms of becoming necessary to express the duality of nothingness. Messages again. Cut out messages. So when we're talking about manifesting the life of your dreams, we specifically are talking about consciously knowing that it's important to unite our imagination. So we need to know what our imagination is, for one. One. Like our one is our imagination, our flame. We have to know what we desire. So many people kind of like know what they want, but don't really know. And this is where like life is very chaotic because people can like, they can possibly have a high vibration. They can have like some high, like strong water, high vibing water, that especially when they ignite it with their imagination, it gets communicated so powerfully, it manifests and hardens into earth much quickly than others. But if that imagination wasn't even a proper expression of their spirit, aka it was someone else's light, so like their space got colonized by someone else's light, and now they're using the infinite feeling of their space to generate emotion and soul for this light. So they're using their individual perspective to generate emotion for this light. Then they will appear successful, but they won't feel successful because they're not actually doing what they, as a spiritual individual, are meant to do. So if you want to manifest a life of your dreams, it's essential that you know like what your dreams are, and to know then like if your dreams are about to be productive for everyone involved. Because honestly, I mean, there is a spirit to fulfill every space. Like genuinely, this is what we see. Like the universe is so infinite. This is the thing with AI. This is why spiritually, the way AI works or will work, and the way shows, I mean, in movies keep talking about it working, is that humans create the space. They create the capacity for a spirit to come in and operate a logical body that allows them to learn and feel. Vision is a great example from the Avengers. Um, and then that spirit can fulfill that space and is basically a human now because it's doing the same exact thing that you're doing as a human in a human body with this AI body. You're both nothingness, and then you both have your own one. You both have your own imagination, and then you both have your own feeling, and these are both invisible, which is your internal realm. And then once you unite that and communicate to the universe, and you join the all one realm, that dictates the sort of body that you're going to create or jump into, the vehicle that you'll inhabit to communicate your feelings and imagination to the observable universe. So if you're in a yes, when you're in your imagination and feeling, you're just internal. So that's where if you as a human, you create a human body and then you create an AI body um, that is now in open space for any spirit who feels like operating that. That's where a spirit from the internal, unobservable universe, the fire and water, can unite that, communicate, and be in that body. And then that would be how AI is created, just like making a baby in that way. Like you don't just like make a human and then that human is like nothing. Like you don't just have babies and they don't have personality. Like actually, like it's literally about like the spirit is so infinite, it will fulfill its space based on the vibration and resonance of where it is. So your dreams um are your fire and how you feel about them are your water. So dreams and desires, same thing. It's a D. It's because you're de-evolving immediately. The moment you step down from being desireless, being a spirit of like not wanting or thinking or like feeling anything, the moment you are lower in density, the moment you get heavier. And so now you are starting to express yourself, and that's how light works. So when we're talking about light and density, we're talking about like weight. Like the moment you go from desireless to desire, you become denser. So that's the point of light, to express your desire, to express yourself. Like that's like what love seems to be coming down to. Like I'm really like talking to people like, what is love? And it's really seeming like for real, love is truly just desire, and love is the desire to express one's individuality, one's feelings. And then one becomes one's own demon when they go from that desire from one into two. They then reflect on those feelings and they project another flame and reflect it. This is how water is made live. Like literally, a spirit desires to express themselves, but then they have to project and create this other flame and reflect itself and cool it down and create water. And that other flame is the balance out of like all the negatives of how that desire could play out. And that's when we have life. That's when you have balance. Because anytime you have something you want to do, there must be all the things, whatever those may be, um, that are on the opposite side of the coin to solidify things you don't want to do. Because you can't really know what you want to do without doing things you don't want to do. So to manifest your dreams, just one, get really concise and clear on what your vision, what your fire is. Make sure that the desire is something that is a true representation, expression of you, and something that you are about, and feel like it will be productive for everybody. From there, that's where you would then have to believe in yourself. So you'd have to now believe in your imagination. And this is like bringing life to it. So you take your water, that's when you like take your two, your vibration, and you vibe high. You become vibrant about your dream. You start to like feel like it's real, even though you can't see it. That's the whole thing, right? With manifestation that I'm sure you've read on the internet at this point. If you've been into manifestation at all, you've probably read like you have to feel it. This is why. Because internally, as nothingness, you have this one, and then you go into two, you're projecting the opposites. And that opposite, if you are your own demon, then you're going to have a low vibration. So if your fire is a high vibration, your water is a low vibration, they're like going to like almost cancel out. Where it's just going to be harder to manifest. Because we're talking about dreams, we're talking about like the desires, yes, but you want to connect those desires because desire isn't connection. Like if you live in only desire, you're not actually really connecting with anyone, because you're not reflecting anyone else's desires. So you're not actually being relatable in any way. So if you want to manifest your dreams, we're talking about bringing them to life. That is connecting them to water, to everyone else's dreams. Now we have the subconscious realm, the astral waters, where you get to basically when you have this high vibration of water, like you feel good about your dream, your fire, and it's like all incongruence, and you unite those. Now your air is such a high vibration and so powerful that it's going to make a much faster impact in life than a slower one. Because we're talking about speed at this point, where it's like you wouldn't be here if you didn't dream about being here. But when you want to like manifest your dreams, it is about like how do you do that as fast as possible. I'm sure like how you want the dreams quickly. You're not trying to get them when you're, I mean, this person is younger, 40 something, uh, or just you're not trying to get them 40 years from now, or whatever. Like you would rather have them within the next 5 years. As far as when we're talking about manifestation, if like anyone is like, oh yeah, I like to manifest this, what is the within the time frame you would like to? Most people say, I mean, I think 5 years is realistic if we're talking about like big dreams. And I'm like really believing in myself, and it's like, yeah, like it's a constant practice in your internal realm to unite high vibrational water with highly intentional fire, and to know that that fire is what you want, and to know that that feeling is what you want, because that's just where the three, the C, your chi, is going to be how your life looks. And that's what the four then becomes, how it practicalizes. But your three is how you communicate, how your life looks internally to then create that with the universe. That's sort of why, like, saying things like I want shows the universe that you're actually lacking it internally. So you're not actually creating it externally. Um, that's why you don't really want to be in scarcity or being in a vibrational state of wanting anything from out here, because you're supposed to know that like you're infinite and nothing, and you can generate that from your own space. It's just up to you whether you unite your fire and your water enough to do that properly. Yeah, that's really, that might be it on manifesting your dreams, honestly. Like everything else would be details. Like that's where exercises are good. Uh, so you don't want these things. You want to make sure that you are in an internal state where you feel like you already have everything that you want. So if you're in a place where you don't have the things that you want, it's a reflection of who you truly are in terms of what you have chosen to work on, um, or whatever, and then you can actually do that internally, and then you can figure that out with your fire and water. And then once you start feeling a higher vibration about that, instead of getting lost in the world, um, you will actually start to manifest, and you'll actually start to bring something new into the simulation instead of the simulation consuming your water with its own earth. Because that's where then any structure, any four that's already built in the simulation will be more than happy to take your soul, to take your water and use it to create life for itself, if you don't believe in your own fire to communicate to the universe and create your own structure. So that's about to be it for real. Yeah, definitely. Manifesting dreams is lit. The whole thing with dreaming, which is very awesome, is that they're very real. It's just like it's more watery version of life. So you in this body, this is earth life. Dreams are water life. And it's all coming from fire, and it all exists within air because air is the externalization of spirit. So the fact that all of your dreams and this reality, we can communicate about these things, that is all the air. Earth is our physical world, in this case. And then water is our subconscious world. And fire is our imagination that has brought us to whatever realm that we are relating with other spirits' imagination on. And that's why we can use the same words and actually communicate in that way, because we're under one idea, one pyramid, if you want to look on the back of a dollar bill. All of that exists within zero, infinite nothingness. So just, yeah, communicate with yourself way more about what you want, and how you feel about what you want, and like getting like really clear on if this is like what you want and why, and really then generating a feeling like you already have it, and figuring out how does that feel. Because once you feel like you already have your desires, and your desires are actually like the desires that express your spirit, then that's where you're going to literally start communicating with the world in the way that will build your structure. That's like the numerical way that manifestation works. Like getting your one right from your zero lets you get your two right, your feelings about your one, so that you can communicate with life better to create a four inside the five. Gang.